I'm going to go off camera for. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on.
Done. Can you share that screen for us?
Christian, have you got the Christian, have you got the app? Have you got the PDF, the PowerPoint, Christian, from the group?
No.
He sent it. He's put it in the group.
It's in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, I'll give it to me. I can share it if you want. Pass it here. If you.
When did you send it?
It's on WhatsApp there.
All right. Okay. Hold on. I'll send it to myself.
Christian, if you give me to share it, I can share it if you want.
Oh yeah, sure. Give me a second.
Let me host it. I'll share it.
There you go. You can do it now because I'm not on my phone anymore. Oh, there you are.
Right. Let me just press play. Let me just move that out of the way. 2 secs.
So guys, we are now live on YouTube.
Cool.
So that's going to be on my personal YouTube account. So as soon as this is going to be finished, I'm gonna share it on WhatsApp so you can have.
Kieran, it's all yours, mate. Just let me know when you want me to press it.
Yeah, happy days. Yeah, so this is obviously our little brand that we're doing here. My Oppo, that's the obviously name of it. Oppo means, and it's like this meaning behind everything we've done with our little charity that we're setting up. It means friend in like certainly like the naval sort of side of the MOD. I don't know, to be honest, if it's over the whole of the MOD, but it's certainly the naval / Marines. That's why, like, you know, at least half of the lads' dogs are called Oppo because it just simply means friend. So that's the meaning behind our name there. What we do is directly underneath, we support families with PTSD. I'll go obviously more in depth on that in a second. Underneath, though, are our sort of social media pages and things like that. If you aren't already, do you mind following them, resharing things on them? So like the top one's obviously Instagram. There's our website underneath, so myoppo.org. I've obviously got our Facebook. To be honest, I don't know how to use Facebook, but I'm learning. And we set up a YouTube channel as well. And I'll touch more on that in a minute. There's a little social media sort of page later on.
Oh shit!
Here you go. Who we are. Yeah. So it's just.
There you go.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to cover in this little brief here. So who we are, a brief little background on who we are, our stance on a thing called the impression of increase. Obviously, I know at least one of you is aware of what that means. I'll talk a little bit on our stance on that, mine and Rebecca's stance on that as well. Why we set up, so touch on the lack of support, a lack of awareness, and the fact that there's no other charity like us. But yeah, that's the first bit. Next slide, please. I've always wanted to say that. Also, what we plan to do for the families, our social media base. Again, to be honest with you, I don't really like social media. I try to stay away from it as much as I can. But it's massively powerful in this day and age. I'm only 32, but yeah, it's sweeping over the world as we know. Yeah, and our little brand / charity is taking off on there. I'll also touch on what we've done since our setup in October. And then lastly, the benefit of these groups. And what I mean by these groups, I mean this group that we're doing now, i.e. this little webcam thing here. Yeah, I'll touch on that as well. But yeah, and next slide, please. Who we are. So Rebecca, I've wrote a few things down here. So business background with Rebecca, she went from literally like 50 grand a year in a job, but it was one of these jobs where she wasn't happy. Without sounding too cheesy, she literally wasn't happy, where she was losing sleep. And you could argue 50 grand a year is quite a respectable sort of wage. Yeah, so we spoke about it. I was like and ahhing whether or not we should go ahead with it, sort of thing. But she decided to leave the job. You know, she was nearly on 50 grand a year. She was then the breadwinner. But she went from that to zero just because of, again, as cheesy as it sounds, happiness. She simply wasn't happy. Yeah, so she moved into doing we started off, we bought a food van to start off in the business sort of world, a business sort of venture. It went well. We won in some events, lost in some events, but because of my job, which I'll talk on in a minute, we couldn't commit to it 100%, and it broke our heart. Like, honestly, a tear nearly went down my face when we sold it. We had to sell it. We had weddings booked and all this sort of stuff, but I couldn't guarantee that we was going to be there, and I didn't obviously want to ruin the biggest day of their life sort of thing. So we had to sell that. So she went on to dog grooming, and we like invested in that, and that's what she still does now. Again, she likes it, but her heart isn't in it a 1,000,000%. It's not her purpose, if you like. She's got a degree. She's a lot smarter than me, but I'll obviously never tell her that. She's got a degree in public sociology. Long story short, what that means to us, I don't really know, to be honest. But what it means is she likes to know why people work the way they do, how their brain works, why people you know, queue up. You know, I don't know if you've heard that experiment where there's a few people started a queue to nothing, but more people joined on the back. Like the things behind that, why people riot, why people follow the crowd, and all that. That's basically what it means. Along with helping overcome struggles and stuff like that. Me, work-wise, I started work. I was a rebellious little like so-and-so, to be honest with you. But I started like my working when I was 16, 17, like I think early 17, and I had a job firstly in a co-op shop. And that was the first time I had like because I, as it says underneath, I'm a PTSD sufferer, but my whole life, it seems, has been traumatic things that have gone on, traumatic events, one way or another, literally from birth all the way up to now, basically, about 7 years ago. I'll touch on that in more depth later on. When I had my first job, I worked in co-op. It wasn't a glamorous job, but it was a job, and I was able to, like, you know, pay for bus fare to go and see my girlfriend and that, which is obviously all you think about when you're that sort of age, and that's was fine with me. But one of the days, it was just before Christmas, we got robbed, and I'm talking like two blokes ran in with like balaclavas on. One had a machete, the other one had a baseball bat, got us on the floor. And my auntie worked there at the time as well, just completely random. And I remember looking over and seeing her on the floor. She was shaking, but I knew then I was braver than most people. And this is why this illness destroys me so much, because I knew then I was braver than most people, because I was obviously I wasn't laughing out loud, but when I seen my auntie looking, she was shaking, and you know, as you would do, like the bloke had a machete, like, and I just mimed to her like, what? Like laughing sort of thing. He punched me and then he ran out the shop. You know, he also stole my Nokia 3210, which I was obviously absolutely gutted about, because I don't mind people rob stuff. That's just the way of life. But the shop stuff's insured, isn't it? My 3210 wasn't, and it completely ruined me, especially when I had a girlfriend at the time. You know, you can't, you know, there was no such thing as all this Facebook and all this.
No more snake.
Sorry, there's nothing.
No more snake.
Yeah. I joined the Marines. It was then I knew I was braver than sort of most people, without like blowing my own trumpet sort of thing. I joined the Marines because my granddad was told he had cancer, and he had like 2 years to live. And he had, the day he got told, it was near enough bang on 2 years until he died. They actually got it perfectly timed randomly. But he always wanted someone to join the MOD from the family. Like, our family's a big family, but he always wanted one of us to join the MOD. So that's what I did, because he was like my father figure. He was like my discipline. I went there when when my mom found, a bottle of whiskey in my bag and all that sort of stuff. Like he was just my father figure. He'd done all the father sort of things. Because of him and because he wanted someone throughout the whole of our family to join, that's why I joined. Since I joined, I've done everything that I wanted to do. So I've been to Afghanistan like twice, been to Norway like 4 times or something like that. Jordan, the desert, you name it. I've been shot at. I've shot at people. I've been chased by bombs, like mortars. I've never been grenaded. That's like the only thing. Not that that's a good thing to have on your little CV, but I've never been grenaded. I've seen everything. I've blew up IEDs. I've done literally everything. In my 13 years in the Royal Marines, you can sort of prepare. And this is going into the PTSD sort of side of things here. You can prepare for the war, and you know the job you're going into because it's the job you're going into. You know that everyone knows what you do over there. But when you're going out there to fight, you can prepare for it. And bearing in mind, I genuinely believed I was braver than most sort of people, especially that day we got robbed in the sort of shop. I was ready for it and I prepared for it, and my mind was all over it, sort of thing. But what caught me off guard and what has ruined my life basically for the past almost 7 years, caught me off guard. It was, I'll touch more on that in a minute. But yeah, that's what caught me off guard, and that's why I'm so devastated basically. Yeah, next slide please. Our backgrounds as a couple, then we're obviously married. If you didn't know, Rebecca's related to Craig. That's how we're in this sort of group here. Our backgrounds are almost identical, meaning they weren't the best at all. I'm obviously not going to talk on Rebecca's upbringing. I'll talk briefly on mine. Anything you can imagine from a rubbish upbringing I had, and I'm talking. I seen my mum get stabbed. It's like the worst upbringing you can think of. It happened. Rebecca's wasn't like that, to it, like nowhere near that, to be honest with you. But it wasn't the best, and that's why I believe our little bad upbringings that you wouldn't wish on any children at all has brought us into the characters we are now, and to like genuinely want to sort of help people. Because I came from although I came from a place called Meriden, it's like, it's a nice place. It was when I was growing up anyway. It's a nice place. But now that household, it was like the armpit of hell, basically. It was horrendous. The person who stabbed my mum was my dad. That's what I mean. How I was brought up with guns and stuff in the house. It was just horrendous. You wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy, especially a bloody child. But that's why I think, because it was so rubbish, we've came together and we're genuinely, without sounding like super cheesy, we are soulmates. Like literally, I call her my mole mate because she's got a mole on her head. But she doesn't find it funny at all. A thing we believe in is this thing here, and Cristian obviously knows what this. I don't know if anyone else knows what this means here. It's sort of self-explanatory if you look at it. Anyway, it's the impression of increase. What we believe in is when we meet people, like in meetings like this on Skype or whatever, this Zoom or whatever, or at work or ever in our life, in business, so like the dog thing that she does, we always leave the situation having gave someone more than when we met them, sort of thing. And that's what it means by the impression of increase. For example, her dog grooming sort of salon here, it's literally home base. She does it upstairs. People bring a dog into a normal grooming salon, it gets cut or washed, and then it simply goes away. That's a normal, from A to B, that's what you do. The increase that she does, and like we preach our lives on it, sort of thing, is the dog comes, she does exactly the same. I play with it. Obviously, the owner doesn't know this, but the dog, knows it. she like puts a bow on the dog, and like, you know, it's like a little present going back to the owner and sort of, and even, hang on, I'll show you this. Yeah, these are all the little clients. I don't know, I can't see myself on the thing, but she's made little balls full of treats, and these are for the dogs. She's like spent all day making these, and it's just when they drop their dog off, it's just the increase. So they come here to do something, a bit of business, and then backhanded dog treats, business, but they leave here with a smile on their face. And we genuinely believe and preach our life now. Obviously, the group me and Cristian, well, me, Rebecca, and Cristian are in. This is where I learned it. But since I've learned it, I cannot preach it enough. Like and we also believe in the universe, without sounding like too hippie, if you like. We believe in the everything in life happens for a reason, and the more you think about things, the more it happens. So debt, I've wrote a bullet point here, debt. So this bloke called, I don't know if you know him, he's called Bob Proctor. He does this little a sentence or two, and it really meant something to me when he said it. I'll just share it with you now. If you're thinking, I need to get out of debt, I'm in debt, I need to get out of debt, 2021's the year for me, I'm getting out of debt. You think it's good because you're setting yourself that goal, but what you're actually doing, would you move? Go away. Sorry, the dog. What you're actually doing is thinking about the word debt. And even though you're saying, I'm going to get out of it, you're actually preaching to yourself and making it muscle sort of memory. You will attract the debt. And that's what I believe in. An example that's happened to me, and I know Simon's helped me a lot, Christian's helped me a lot, this group's helped me a lot. The other month, I've always wanted to do it, but I've never done it. But I've done it the other month. It was before lockdown 5.12 or whatever we're on now. I always wanted to give some money to the homeless, and not through a charity, because since we've been starting a charity, we've seen the dark side of it, sort of thing. That's some of them anyway, which is horrendous. So I didn't want to go through a charity. I just wanted to find a homeless person and give them some money. So I went to the cash point, and it was a large sum, and it was enough to, you know, it's not just a quid where you're like, yeah, cheers, and you completely forget about it for the rest of your life. It was enough to, like, I had to think about spending for the rest of the week. It was a few £100 basically. So I drew it out. I always wanted to do it, and I was randomly found I came across a homeless person on the street, and I gave it them. I didn't, you know, some people do, and it really annoys me. I didn't record it and post it on blooming Instagram like some people do. I'm only mentioning it in this. I've mentioned it once before because it's the perfect example. I gave it them, and you should have seen that they'd seen it. The cash point, it was a load of £10. It was £10, but it just looked like one. I gave it them, and you should have seen their face thinking they had the £10. But when I walked away, they obviously opened it, and it like sort of sprung out. That day, I felt I was in town. Obviously, I was in town. Shush. So we got this psycho dog living with us. I was in town, and I was drunk, so I can't walk around public spaces because of this like rubbish I've got. This illness basically. So I was drunk, but I had to go into town. But I walked off thinking that felt amazing, and I genuinely was bursting. Like I didn't gob off about it. I didn't even tell Rebecca what I was planning to do. I was just genuinely chuffed. The person who I gave it to was obviously also genuinely chuffed. I mean, this is when it started getting cold and all this sort of thing. And you should never give to receive, obviously, but giving that day on my life since then, nothing but good things has happened since. And this is what I mean about the power of the universe, without sounding like a complete hippie or whatever. The power of the universe. If you push out like the genuinely good vibes, it's going to come back. I gave, you know, it's material stuff. Who cares? You know, who cares really? It's money, but it's gave that person a hotel for a night or two, and it licked like food for a few nights, and they banged out genuine, like they were thankful, like genuinely thankful, not as fake smile. It was a genuine thank, and I was genuinely pleased, and it was that like vibrations or whatever you want to call it. Since then, on my life, nothing bad has happened. Everything, and I'll talk on in a minute the good things that have actually happened. So if you think about debt constantly, you'll attract it back. If you do something good, so good enough that it knocks you back, and you've actually taken a hit, because I had to watch the pennies for, you know, a couple of weeks, but it was genuinely in my heart to do it. It came back, and it's as simple as that. So that's what I mean by the impression of increase, and that's what we genuinely believe in. And since that, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. The next slide, please. Okay, so why we set up. My example, I've been to Afghan twice. First one was 2011, the second one was 2014. So my event happened nearly 7 years ago, and then we was also going through, obviously Craig knows, some family thing that was going on, and it happened the same time, and that's what caught me off guard, because I wasn't thinking about Afghan, I was thinking about the thing that was going on in Rebecca's sort of life and Craig's life and that the family's life. And I dropped my guard. I wasn't prepared for Afghan, although it wasn't a scrappy tour. It was just an office job. I'd done it simply to get a deposit, basically for my first house. That's why I'd done it. And my guard wasn't there because it was an office job. Why would there be danger in an office? And that's when it got me, and it caught me off guard. Lack of support. I went from being, I promoted in super fast time, from getting off the train at Lympstone to being a corporal. It took me 4 years maximum, which is unheard of. My training, like, I'm not Rambo or anything like that. I was just like eager to promote, and I was doing everything I was doing the right things at the right time, basically. But it's unheard of, the promotion that happened. And since then, I've been a corporal years. When this event happened, I was a corporal. So I've been a corporal nearly 10 years now. So to promote that fast, to then be the scummest of the scum, and that, like, you should see some of the reports I've had in that time. Alarm bells should have been going in the chain of command. You know, there's officers, sergeant majors, there's sergeants, there's even your mates, the other corporals and the Marines underneath you, and all this sort of thing. People didn't notice that you went from hero to zero in a short amount of time. And that's what I mean by the lack of support. I didn't even know myself what had happened until randomly I was watching a TED Talk video a couple of years ago now, and then I was like, oh my God, that's what's happened to me. And that goes hand in hand with the sort of lack of awareness there. The med center, I went into the med center. Obviously, I don't want to go too much into it. I went into the med center, and it took ages. And I spoke to her. She was a civilian, yeah. She was a doctor. She's still a doctor on a military camp. You think they'd be all over it. I told them what was going. I told her what was going on, and she wrongly sort of diagnosed me or wrote it down wrong, and that resulted in me not getting the help that I needed. And it was a knock-on effect of, because this isn't just I'm not getting the help that you needed. You know, you want to, like, you want to kill yourself. The list of all the knock-on effect to that doctor that day is horrendous. So the support, to be honest, even though it should be, because you'd think it is it actually isn't there. It should be. If you boil the MOD down to what it actually is, it's a multi-billion-pound business. It gets billions of pounds a year. I mean, things just had a 15 billion pound injection or something. And this is I've used this example before. If Richard Branson, again a multi-billion-pound business, one of his airliner hostesses or whatever had a problem, like, I don't know, there was a step on the plane that people kept spraining their ankle, he would, being a multi-billion-pound business, change it and fix it from the bottom up without a shadow of a doubt. So the MOD, for a doctor in the MOD not to recognise illnesses like this is not, it's unacceptable at all, really. Lack of awareness, the lads simply don't know. TED Talks told me that I had gone from being, Craig knows me before this, I was like the funny one, you know, people gathered around me to have fun and have a good time. Like literally, that's not an exaggeration. Yeah, I was drunk 9 times out of 10, but it was like, it was fun. I was confident, I'd done everything, and now I'm scared to answer the door. Gerald. Yeah, now I'm scared of to answer the door and to be taught what I had through TED Talks. It's unacceptable. It was only when I was outside, again, I had to see another doctor like 6 months later or whatever. That's how long it took in between, because I simply refused, and drinking hard and all that sort of thing in the meantime. I was sat there in the med center again, and I looked over, and there was just a little A4 blooming poster opposite her door, saying all these the what to look out for in the whole of the unit. So again, it isn't good enough. It simply isn't good, because the reality is lads are killing themselves, and that moves me on to the next point. Next door's example, I'll say it on here because obviously there's no chance anyone's gonna ever meet her. We live next door to a widower, basically, because he couldn't cope anymore. I never knew him, I never met him, but yeah, she's now on her own with kids, a dog, and a little family, but because he killed himself, and that is the reality of this illness. It's people need to know. People need to at least know what to look out for, and it's not good enough that I was randomly taught what was wrong with me through the YouTube on TED Talks. You know, it's simply not good enough. No charity like us, and that's literally, there is literally no charity like us. There's no charity that does PTSD and for the families specifically. It's all, there's loads obviously on for the lads and the girls who have got this, but there's none specifically for the family members, and this is where it takes a toll on them. You know what I mean? I'm boozing, you know, when I'm not, obviously not boozing now, but when I'm boozing, it's obviously taking a strain on your wife, on your girlfriend, boyfriend, kids, more importantly, because you lose your temper like the fastest you can. You know, you just go from 0 to losing your rag like there's no tomorrow, like that. If there's kids around, it's obviously going to take a toll on them. I mean, like, think about my childhood. You know, it takes a toll on kids, and that's why we wanted to set this sort of up to give them the break they need, not necessarily from the boyfriend or from the husband or wife or whatever, but along with them. And I'll talk on what we're going to do in fact, it's the next slide in a second. But yeah, so what we plan to do for the families during these COVID times, bloody hell. So we're going to do like online coffee mornings, online meetings, and it's just that ear to listen. And the benefit of our sort of charity or our organisation, whatever you want to call it, is we have someone diagnosed with this stuff. We got 4 trustees now. We've got an ambassador as well. but we, you know, our trustees have been chosen like for a reason. They genuinely bring something to the party, sort of thing. Like, you know, one of them's a funeral director, for example, so she talks to people at the most delicate times of their life. So just having that little ear who's used to talking during like people's grieving times is massively beneficial. And not only that, you know, I've got the rubbish that we're talking about. I live with it day and night. You know, it doesn't start, and this is exactly what I said to my therapist, the exact words. It doesn't start at 9 and finish at 5 like a job. I mean, this stuff wakes you up screaming. This stuff wants you to jump in front of a bus. Like this stuff, it never leaves you ever. And now I'm just constantly drunk on medication. Yeah, but this is what we plan to do. So coffee mornings, being that ear to the family members and the lads and girls who are dealing with this as well. As funds grow, days out, you know, stress-free days out, because I'm diagnosed, I know exactly what triggers situations. It's not, there's one thing reading a textbook where you can have 55 degrees in something, but you don't necessarily know what you taught. You might know the test answer, but you might not necessarily know the reality of it and what you're actually talking about to an extent. And whereas I live with it, and that's what we add differently, sort of thing. So offer them days out. Obviously, you know, if it doesn't stress me out, there's a high chance it won't stress them out either. So it'll be safe, sort of a safe place for them. As funds grow up to holidays, you know, we want to pay for them. Like I said last time we met, we're not in this for money, and we're not in this to hold sums of money at all. We are in this to give back to the people who are struggling. I mean, look how close it is. It's in this house, it's next door as well. It's everywhere, and because it's so, it's classed obviously under the confidential thing act, or whatever it's called. No one knows who's got it. It's just randomly that we found out about the people around here who have it, and vice versa. So yeah, pay for them, especially people like her. Rent paid, like paying their rent, paying their mortgage. And as funds grow, like I said, we are not interested in doing a poppy appeal and holding 250 million in the bank and living off the interest. Like we will pay their mortgages off. Like they shouldn't have to. I keep using her as an example, but it's the best one I think of at the minute. I can't even believe it. So the MOD, obviously what happened to the lady again next door, again I'm only saying it because you'll never meet her. They were trying to get a military house. This is a military patch house. They was trying to get a military house. They kept saying no, and they wanted to move it closer to her family, basically, so they can, yeah. They said no, and then that the sort of thing happened, and she then told the MOD, obviously, like, what the hell do you sort of do? And then magically all these military houses appeared, so they was holding it against things. So they wasn't taking him seriously. That's the point, the awareness point of it. They've then, if you can blooming get your head around this, have gave her 2 years until she's on the streets. You know, and it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous and that's just someone we know about. Imagine the people that it's happened to before, that we simply do not know about. And that's why we will never hold money. We'll never hold masses of money, obviously enough to tick over, like, you know, but masses of money is a massive no-no. We will pay for their mortgages. They've already paid the ultimate sacrifice. You know, it's the least we can do, and it is as well the least someone could do. You'd think the MOD would do it, but they're not, and that's where this sort of charities came about, basically. Yeah, I think that's everything on there. Can you on the next slide, please? So social media then. So social media, like I said at the start, social media is not a favorite thing for me. I think it does more harm than good, to some extent on some things. Obviously, it's amazing for some things, for Kim Kardashian's cars, for example. But it has done nothing but help us, help our cause, help us getting out there to people who we simply wouldn't have been able to before. And that's why, exactly why, we're using it. For example, well, I'll tell you these things here, then I'll tell you when we set up. So Instagram, it overtook my personal, again, followings. It doesn't mean anything unless it's legit and it's genuine following. Anyone can have 1 million followers, but if 995,000 of them are just Mickey Mouse accounts, it doesn't. Our following is genuine. We get nothing but positive feedback 24/7. It overtook my personal account like a week ago or something. It's now hitting the 4. It's got 400. Again, it's not a lot, but they're genuine people who are behind what we're preaching and behind our cause. Same on Facebook. We got like almost 200 on there. The intro video that we posted this thing. We've named it the 31 Days of Christmas, because what I found and what me and Rebecca found is Christmas time is like the because everyone's happy, everyone's like merry and all this. If you're struggling in your head and you're at war with yourself, that happiness and things does the opposite effect on you. I don't know if that's true for everyone. I just know it's true for me personally. So I thought of it and I said, we're going to do this thing called 31 Days of Christmas because of the 31 days of December. And every day we release a video of struggles. So alcohol, we've had PTSD. That's what I mean about our social media. Like they're genuine, like want to help us. People approach us about people who turned in like deep into the bottle, like sort of thing, and talk about the stresses and the horror of alcohol. And now they're clean, and now they're recovering. Well, you never recover from PTSD, but they're dealing with it, and they've. Obviously they're all secret, you don't know who these people are, but all these people are joining, and we're releasing a video on every struggle: money, alcohol, family members who aren't there, family members who are there, believe it or not, like the annoying distant uncle, relative or whatever, that can also do you nothing. It's weird how it all works. So that's what we're doing over the month of December. And to say that we've got such a small, is verging on for a I don't know, I keep saying, but yeah, charity. We got 600 followers over the two sort of platforms. Our intro video, which is Rebecca, and you'll find it on all these things here, so the Instagram, Facebook, and the YouTube thing there. So obviously feel free to have a look. The intro video where Rebecca tells about her story and her like struggles with me. To be honest, I can't even watch the video, but I know briefly what she talks about. She's got over 2,000 views on it in 7 days, and for someone with that's what 5 times, near 4 or 5 times our following. So people are sharing this, and people are genuinely, which is amazing. To think that people actually care that much about the lads that gave their all, really. Like I said, I've been interviewed or I've done a video, and I mentioned that the lads you sent away, I keep saying lads, sold, the boys and girls that they don't necessarily come back themselves every single time. So to have people behind that and posting it and sharing it or whatever it's called, and thing is, I can't believe it. YouTube, there's more videos on there. We've got one of the local sort of yoga teachers to do us a video on there. We've got one of the local lads again. He's like certified, I don't know what it's called, meditation man. We'll call him a meditation man. He does the meditation videos and that, and he's like gifted them to us, donated them, and they're on our platform and under our name. I can't believe the support we're getting, and it's all literally because of social media here. And to say I was like, I don't want to get involved in that, it's done nothing but good things. And this is what's happened since that day. Rewind a little bit, where the money's I handed that money over. But yeah, this next bit here blows my mind. Can you just, put it on the next slide, please? Okay. We set this up, in fact, on the 4th of October, we set this up, and this is what we've achieved since the 4th. So it's just over 2 months. We haven't done it on our own. Obviously, this, well, I'll mention a few people in a minute, but this is what we have. So pro MMA fighters, another thing I find, not that I'm any good at all, but the sport MMA, I get like knocked out every single day. But it eases the anger, and like a combat sport like that, boxing, kickboxing, roll, like, you know, I don't do any of them. I just do MMA, which is, you know, it is all of it basically. So this is how I'm looped in randomly to pro MMA fighters. But we got them wearing our shirt on the way to the octagon.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. So we got him wearing our shirt on the way to the octagon, and which is massive. Like, this thing's going to be on TV. Unfortunately, he got injured, so he's actually not going to be on TV until like next year now. But again, it's just these opportunities that have happened. That happened. He okayed it and signed it and all that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, he got injured, which happens as you can appreciate, in a combat sort of sport. We got signed England shirts. You know, I've literally got, you know, from the England team, was like signing that, like, England shirts for us, which is, it doesn't mean anything to me, to be honest, because I don't watch. I don't know how people can get stressed out about football. I barely survived through a World Cup, let alone a club team going through that stress every single week. I don't know. My hairline's bad enough as it is. But we got the signed England shirts, which we're going to auction off. One's getting auctioned literally now, or two's getting auctioned now, and we got that one as a little promotion thing, to spread awareness on social media again. Rugby shirts, again, randomly, like stars aligned, and all this has happened since that day we've handed the money over. My personal trainer, to like strengthen my core and all that for rolling and all this sort of stuff, strengthen, like, explode and all that. She knows randomly again, like the team of Exeter Chiefs, where we're getting the same again from them. Again, I'm not into rugby, but someone is, and it will promote the thing again. And all this is gifted to us. I can't believe it. Simon, a link with Simon there. People wanted to gift us like dark, like emotional paintings and things like that, like legit, like, you know, something you'd see in a bloody, not museum, what's it called, studio thing, you know, like proper paintings and that. People are genuinely behind it. What I do every day is the memes there. So the memes I post out, and to be honest, I think it half annoys people because I put a few out. I put like 3 or 4 out a day, and if you follow us on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, you will see them. I don't do it. I do it to spread the awareness, but it's helping me as well, because I can't think of all the memes, all the quotes, so I have to search for positive, feel good quotes, and it's just that, and doing the research into that. I do it daily, like 3 or 4 a day. Makes me feel good myself, because I'm writing the feel good down, I'm posting it, and, like, you know, 20 people will like it, so they're also liking it and posting it. It makes me feel good. So that's what we do on our social media. I've obviously mentioned 31 days of Christmas. This is good. So we got a videographer, bloody hell, videographer is coming down this weekend to sort of interview me and one of the sergeant majors on this again, and it's just growing arms and legs. And this is random. Obviously, I'll talk more on that in a minute. But there's a lad called Paul. I don't actually know his surname. I don't know who this bloke is, to be honest with you. He was in the Royal Marines before, and he's called the Walker. The Warrior Walker. I've done that the wrong way around. He's called Paul. I don't know who his surname is. He's on Instagram as well. And what he's doing for a charity organisation, a charity organisation, is raising awareness and raising money by walking around, literally around the outskirts of the UK. Just go on to the next slide for me, please. And this is where he's up to now. He started off in Poole, I think he said earlier, 4 months ago, and that's the trek he's done already. Absolutely mental. And he's going all the way around the UK, like complete, and he's finishing off back in Poole. I've messaged him. We're actually phoning tomorrow. But the videographer is coming down with Simon actually, and he's going to record him. Going to find him wherever he is. Obviously, he's done a little bit more now that I took this off his Instagram from a few days ago. I think he said it's around Swansea now, but it works out that he's doing a marathon a day, basically, which is bloody hell. He must have some right blisters, but it's 11,000 miles in all, and it's simply to raise awareness of PTSD. But I'm assuming, or mental health, sorry. I'm assuming no one on this has heard of him, and why would you? You know, because no one simply knows about it. But the fact is, people should know about this, because it's taken one man, you know, to go, you know what, I'm going to absolutely do the impossible, really, and walk around the outskirts of the UK. This should be national news, not, you know, blooming like our news tonight. Like in Devon, the news will be something along the lines of Doris has found a cat that she hasn't seen in 2 months or something like that. You know, that shouldn't be news. This should be news. Like some ex-forces man. I don't know what his mental state is or what. I don't actually know him, to be honest with you. But he took it upon himself to do this. So with the videographer is coming down to interview me, the sergeant major, then they'd go into wherever he is in the UK then. Like I said, today is around Swansea sort of area there. But yeah, just to spread that awareness again. He's on the next slide, please. Okay, so what we've also done since October the 4th, we've got a singer. I randomly found this singer who used to go to school with me, actually, a few years below me. And I heard her singing on Instagram, random again. And then I put it forward to Simon, and he's going to pair her up, record her properly. Hopefully we'll get like a video to go with it as well. You know, something, and I mean, this girl's voice is unbelievable. So, and that's just on an iPhone. So I dread to think, or I can't wait to see rather, how amazing she is in a legit setup with a pro violinist, or I think that's what they're called, violin, someone with a violin, to make it like powerful sort of thing. And yeah, and then next we got the yoga teacher. There's a yoga with Candice again. She's on social media as well. She's done this. She obviously she's put us together a yoga video. Again, that's on our YouTube thing, where people can, because this costs people money to find these things and sign up to these things. But we've done it. We've funded it. We've backed it to help people so they can have it for free, because they've got enough stress as it is. And it's these little things like the meditation videos that one of the lads as the meditation man or whatever we called him earlier on, as gave us, along with the 31 days of sort of Christmas. Is just helping people in the furthest corners of the UK. And as we grow, you know, people of Commonwealth, we've got Jamaicans, we've got Australians, South Africans, we've got, you know, you name it, the MOD's Commonwealth. These people will go back to Fiji, go literally all over the world, and they could be struggling with this. And if they're not helping someone like me, 100 meters away from where the medical center was, what chance have they got the other side of the world? You know, the answer's, you know, 0 to 0. The answer's 0. They got no chance. You know, oh, sorry, the 2 seconds, the door, sorry. Yeah. Oh, it was the dog trying the door, sorry. You know, go away. Yeah, so they got 0 chance. That's what we want to do, spread the awareness to every single level. Rap. So there's a rap. Again, it's not my personal choice in a genre of music, if you like. But I know it is to people who are in the forces, you know, when they're in the gym and all that, like it's you know, people listen to it in the gym. I do, to be honest, as well. But so we found, again, through Simon, I found this lad who's amazing. I can't believe, he's on YouTube. I don't know if he's on Facebook or whatever. His name's Wordsmith Flip. We've commissioned him basically to put us together this amazing sort of thing. I'm not going to obviously share with you the clip or whatever, but hopefully it'll be out early next week. Again, to do the same thing, to spread that message of mental health. He's behind it massively. This lad, I think he's from London, from his accent. I'm not 100%. I'm not really good with accents, to be honest. I think he's not from around here.
He's originally London based. He's living in Kent. Yeah, he's London based.
So he's massively behind it, and you can tell from what he says, he's massively behind it, and that's half the battle. It's one thing doing a project, but if you're not behind it 1,000%, it will flop, or to an extent flop. But he is massively behind it, and you can tell with the thing. So hopefully that gets released next week. And the thing that 2 seconds, the door. Una, come, Una. Get off, go off. Yeah, so sorry. So hopefully that'll be released next week, which is massive. And to say we've started 2 months ago, I'm blown away with what we've achieved. Again, I haven't done it by myself. I've had Rebecca, I've had the trustees, Simon's helped massively. Obviously, Wordsmith Flip, the singer, the Candice, the yoga teacher, and the lads who have gifted us the meditation videos and all this, and the following, a genuine following as well. I cannot believe where we've came in such a short amount of time. So I cannot wait to see where we'll be in a sort of year's time. The next slide, please. So this is what we plan to do. Again, I'm not any good whatsoever. I'm not, but we've got ties in with the full contact sort of sports, so like boxing, MMA, things like that. We know people who've done this before, setting up events, sort of things with the cage, the rings and all that sort of stuff. So this is what we plan to do, to raise awareness again, to raise people having, because we've got a gym. We haven't got a gym, but where I go, there's a gym there with X amount of lads and girls ready to fight to an extent. So use them; they'll get their amateur or /pro exposure out there. But you're also doing the important thing, which is spreading this awareness. And same again with boxing. Again, I'll have to phone a few people to make this sort of happen. But the support's there where it can happen. Merchandise, this is what we again plan to do in the future as we grow and funds come in. Again, randomly, I know this lad who's in the, he used to be in the Royal Marines again. He set up a business called Reaper17. That's also on Instagram and Facebook and all that sort of stuff. He sells like, in fact, hang on. I think I've got, yeah, I have. He sells like t-shirt. This is his jumper here. I don't know if you can see that there, but he like cool little military orientated sort of clothes, caps, I don't know, whiskey glasses, gin tremblers or whatever they're called, and all this sort of stuff. It's all cool. So I can ask him as well for advice on this. So this is what we plan to do, and obviously all the profits will go into the charity to help the things or the people and do the things that we said. I said earlier on. Plan to obviously get the singer once the raps came out, and that's all live. We're going to get the singer exactly the same, recorded and released as well. Her voice is amazing, and with the help of the people who we know randomly, you know, I genuinely think this could go up there, which is crazy. But yeah, more importantly, what we plan to do is do what the other military charities say they're doing, because they're bloody not at all. They, you know, I'm sure their hearts are in the right place, people who work from and all that. But like I said, I was 100 meters away from the welfare office, the medical centre, and the Royal Marine Charity, 100 meters away for 2 years, and I still didn't know what was wrong with me, and I still was battling all these demons and all this sort of stuff. And so they say they're doing something, but they're simply not. We plan to change that, and we're small, and it'll take a lot of time, but we will get there. Because I'm determined, and it's the only thing keeping me sane at the minute, to be honest. So it's going. We will make it. Yeah, and I think it's the last slide now. Oh yeah, the benefits of these groups, and what I mean is like this group here, the business sort of group. What I've mentioned, near enough everything I've mentioned about that, the things we've achieved in such a short amount of time, what we're going to do, and all this is because of people from this group, literally from this business group. So that's the importance of this. And I say that a little cheesy sort of thing, a little cheesy thing, team, little acronym team, and it's the together everyone achieves more. And that, Rebecca laughs every single time, but it's so true. Because again, it's all about vibrations, and if you all genuinely help or want to help each other, and it's coming back the other way, good things will happen. And that's what I genuinely believe. But yeah, thank you for listening. I hope I haven't bored you too much.
Oh mate,
that was brilliant, Kieran.
Yeah,
cheers, man. I've got a few questions.
Yeah.
How many families have you got underneath in your charity?
How many what? Sorry.
How many families have you got?
Families. Well, that's what I mean. A few people. There's no families. There's people have approached.
How many people have you got? Like generally,
a handful of people who's came to us for sort of advice and help, and that. Like we're talking what, 5? But it's only small. It's only, you know, just that's cool. Why we need to push it out there, because there's thousands of people who need help, but they simply don't know about us.
Okay. Who does your social media?
I do the social media, so I do the Instagram, the Facebook, and then the upload into YouTube. But again, I'm learning it on the job. Okay,
cool. The woman next door, who's supporting her at the moment?
Who's supporting next door? I don't think anyone, is there? There's no one. There's.
Okay, you know, we'll have a conversation outside of this then, okay?
Okay.
And one more question is, so if I was going to give you, I don't know, some type of platform where people can access free workouts stuff, where they can take it to their own gym and stuff like that, would that help?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll have a conversation outside of this group.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, I don't know how can I help, but if it's anything I can help with, just let me know, mate.
Okay, thank you very much.
I just wanted to jump in as well, Kieran. You've done really well there as well, bro. So I'll come on camera because I've just had it turned. Oh, I am on camera. So basically, what I wanted to add to this, which is really, really exciting, is the charity is really new. Like you said, it only came in October, or only began in October. And so far, it's been getting the message out to as many people as you have been able to do, and as we are going to all be able to do now as well. But the good thing is, like, there are going to be many other things that we'll be able to bring to the table in terms of, like, you know, just from that music background that I've got. There's going to be a load of people who once we're ready and set up to go, that I will actually put it out there and ask them if they want to get involved in a project, whether that be like a social distancing gig or an online gig, or just raising it on their platforms. And I think there's plenty to do there. And I've approached some celebrities like Beverly Knight and Jamelia, Lenny Henry, Jasper Carrot, some Birmingham people, Dave Gorman. So I'm waiting to see if we get any sort of hear back from those sort of people. But I think, like, because it touches so many people and outside of the military as well, hopefully we'll have a lot more genuine interest, because so many people's lives are just naturally touched by what we're talking about here. And I think you said something really important, is that I'm not going to say specifically military, but charities in general, they always say that they're going to do something or other, and you find a lot of the time that they're not actually doing what they're saying they're going to do. And I think that's going to be such a refreshing thing for people who want to support the charity, to say that actually, no, this structure is set up in a way that it's all very transparent, and we're giving back to the people. So what we can do individually, even if you think there's nothing you could do, is just to do what we've been encouraging others to do, and that's just to share at the moment the story. And I think for us here, and what we need to do is get the messaging really clear on terms of how we want to get funded or sponsorship or names, and have like a pack ready to go then to approach different radio stations, approach different sort of celebrities with all the information about what we do and what we're hoping to achieve, and just sort of like really compress that into something that's really manageable and palatable for people to want to see. And I think that's what the exciting part that we're on now. So if anyone, like I say, Nathan, if anybody at all can sort of lean in with any ideas that they think could be beneficial, then I think we're definitely all going to want to hear from that, man. We're at that stage now where our ears are open and we're just grinding, we're just working hard on it. So I'm really excited.
And on the back of that, and this is just like a little personal touch I want to hit. I'll be honest, Kieran, you had me in tears there, mate, if I'm going to be honest. And the reason you had me in tears is because for you guys that don't know, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease at the age of 33. 39 now, so I've had it in my life for 6 years. And I remember being told that there was a support group for young Parkinson's sufferers. And when I walked in there, the youngest guy was old enough to be my dad. So you can imagine, I felt away. I didn't feel at home. So a couple of years, I literally had to struggle myself before I actually started to reach out to other young sufferers. So I felt every single part of what you were saying there, Kieran. So I just want to say thanks for sharing, mate, because you kind of took off a bit of dust off my own thing and kind of give me a kick up my backside to say, well, maybe I should be pushing more towards the Parkinson's with like how well you guys are doing with your cause. So thanks for that, Kieran, man. You've really touched me there. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few things that you've spoken about which is really good, and I don't mean from a charity or a you're doing great sort of job thing, but I think it's more about the ideas that you've got as well. There's a massive thing at the moment that people are going to have to take you professionally. I mean, and when you start becoming more professional, i.e. like branding and things like that, that's when people will start hearing you more and more as well. Do you know what I mean? So when it comes to social media, when it comes to things like that, I can talk to you about that, because I think there's going to be a lot of professionalism ways, like templates that you can use with your colours, with your logo, doing things that generally will make you look like you're the bee's knees. Even if you are a small charity that you keep saying, even though you put yourself down in a way saying you're a small charity when it doesn't matter whether you're big or small. You're a charity that want to help people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So don't keep repeating that you're a small charity. You're a charity that wants to support and help people, and that's again coming back to the Bob Proctor thing about debt. Do you know what I mean? You're, and I'm a very big believer. I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that whole thing of you're bringing it to you. Do you know what I mean? So I think definitely, if we all can come together and maybe outside this group, or I don't know how we're going to do it, but I think we've all got things to offer that we can help you definitely. So I'm excited for you, man. I'm excited for you.
Yeah. I think what I'm hoping to be able to do as well is like, so within my own company with Igloo and stuff like that, a lot of it is dependent on the way that something is looks, and we've got literally no money, so we make things look as good as we can with as little money as we can. And we've done well, I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but we've done, I think, particularly well. I mean, we've had to spend money at times, but if we're spending a few £100 rather than a few thousand to achieve something, I've managed to get a lot of resources. So I've got great videographers, great editors, I've got writers and stuff like that, and people and creatives that can all come together. And I'll do a bit of I speak a lot on radio myself, and I'll have put press packs together and stuff like that, so I'll be able to help with some of the communication aspects of things as well. But I'm really interested, Nathan, because I don't know much about your background. I think you did a presentation that I missed, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I think that's still up there that I'll have to be able to go back. But do you do is it sort of social media marketing and stuff like that? Is that your...
It's not my thing, no. But I've had to learn to do it very quickly, so that because online, all my business is online, and so I market a lot online. And again, it's all about that thing of Instagram, Facebook, how you come across organic reach, and all the type of things that you will build yourself more so on organic reach than paid ads to begin with. And that's what you need to do really, because you haven't got the money to put into adverts. So you really are having to work about how to hack the Facebook algorithm and all them sort of things, which is really easy to do. Like you spoke about it today about the memes and things like that. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a pattern going every day, not just memes, but a pattern of live videos, a pattern of a meme, a pattern of a testimonial, a pattern of a long post, just standard things like that you're constant. And we'll have a chat about this. I mean, I can send you loads of information. And if you've got a repetitive pattern like that coming across all the time, then people get to regularly see your content organically. You know what I mean? They get to see your content organically. So from that, then you start tagging me, and you start tagging Craig, and you start tagging other people in that you know. And then they start seeing, their friends start seeing your post through them. And it's just literally, you're just trying to hack this Facebook algorithm more and more each and every day. The video side and all that sort of thing, I haven't got a lot to do with because I don't know much about that. I'm more about the whole social media, turning up every day, just being consistent that way. So I'll leave that to the pros like Simon and his team and stuff like that. I'm just more about the whole thing of how you come across on social media with your branding to other people, because from my point of view of you can put as much content out as you want, but if you're not hitting the market that you want to hit, it's going to get missed.
And that's so true, because I've literally built a whole business off the back of social media. And one mistake I made in the first couple of years of doing it, and I wasted a lot of money, was I was just targeting everybody and their dog. And it wasted money. And when it started to take off for me is when I realised who my customer was. So it's the same as your charity. You've got to work out who the person you're going to help. What do they look like? What do they do? What's their behaviours? And that way you can then own in and target those sort of people. Because it's the same as I don't know if you guys know, but I've got a page on Facebook called Mind Over Parkinson's. And it's something I'm going to definitely revisit in the new year. It's one of my goals. And the problem is I had a load of people follow me because they were supporting me, but none of them had Parkinson's. So it wasn't set up for them. So in the end, I weren't getting the right people. So it's all about finding out who that person is and how they look on social media, and then you can target them. And then that's when the help really starts to begin then.
I think the beauty about this as well is that I think you genuinely there'll be a different level of organic support from the fact that it's just the nature of the business. It's a charity and what it's hoping to achieve. I mean, say with me working in music, there's only so much of a corner of a market that's going to be interested in supporting, watching, or seeing anything to do with music, even though that could be a large amount of people. People just go to YouTube, so they're not going to catch me for that kind of platform or for whatever reason. So I have a very select sort of audience. With a charity, hopefully that's going to benefit people in the forces, but again outside the forces, in terms of just like its reach and the people its messaging can help. I think what will be good about this is it will reach a wide, have a wide reach. But I think again, the second thing is, I think it'd be quite targeted to the UK, but not just to the UK. Maybe places where there's overseas forces, expats, stuff like that, and they're just, or people who've got a strong support with the military. It's going to be mainly English speaking nation. So I think it's a bit easier. Like, say with me trying to target any musician, I tend to target the American market and the UK market. And if whatever I pick up in Europe, Africa, is always beneficial. But my market, I know for a fact, is very much in the UK. And I think for this charity, it'll be pretty much the same, where 90% of his stuff will probably go in the UK. And the good thing is you might be able to use some of the military networks, and especially with the fact that, again, it's a charity that's set up to help people. If we could get the military on board, then a lot of the messaging can go out on military radio. It can go to different bases, even if it's leaflets or information or whatever. We'll hopefully be able to get the name of the charity out that way as well, through those sort of networks. And I think that'll be really useful to really grow it.
I mean, what's it called? BFBS, the British Forces something radio. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, they posted one of our posts the other day. They do follow us on Thingy. So yeah, that link there.
Can I ask a question regarding charities? How much impact do things like GoFundMe and all them things have on people that have charities? Because does it dilute the purpose of a charity having things like that?
I don't know. Cause Rebecca set up a GoFundMe page, and I think we raised. We asked for 1,000 to get us off the ground. I think we raised like 120 or something.
I mean more so from an aspect of promoting yourself as a charity. And I know people love to give to charities and things like that, but how much of it are people giving to more charity than they'd rather just give to a GoFundMe page or that kind? Have you done research into? Because I know there's a lot of people out there that do GoFundMes all the time. More so they'd rather give to that because it's a more personal thing than a charity. I don't know much about that side of it. So
okay, I'll look.
I think the way to do it for a GoFundMe, if you was going to do it, is probably to attach.
I don't mean about doing a GoFundMe. I'm just thinking about the impact of having a charity.
A negative or a positive impact?
A negative one.
I think overall it might be a negative impact. I think you should have the most direct stream, like just to go to one place if you can, only because it just makes it simple as well. And you don't have to keep on messaging on different platforms. You can use this one central place, because really you're not asking for a complex thing. You're asking them to do one thing, which is to donate money. So literally it's not to provide this or that service, or you're going to have loads of terms and conditions. So really, to have one hub for it to be, it doesn't matter if it's on YouTube or wherever, it'd be better for you as a business to always say, all right, and ring this number or donate to this. I think so. A GoFundMe, again, it's a bit different, and you go through their setup. You have to probably
what I'm trying to get at more so is people's opinions on charities compared to GoFundMes. So are people going to be likely
to think GoFundMe's more short-term projects rather than something that would be ongoing? I think that's what I would say is the difference.
Yeah.
I just mean generally people's mentality, because I know, are people going to give likely more to charities than the GoFundMes, or are people going to give? I don't know. And that's the question that I'm trying to get to, really.
I don't think any of us actually know. I think it depends on the level of exposure your charity has had and the reputation, I would expect anyway.
Yeah. If you do look now, you see so much GoFundMe everywhere, more so than charities, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like a new thing.
But a lot of charities are up to no good. I think that's the other side of it as well.
And that's what I'm trying to get at.
Is reputation of charities in general has took a hit over the last year, and I think that's not down to the fact that they do anything illegal. It's the fact that they badger people, and like if you give a fiver, they ask for a tenner. You give them a tenner, they ask for 20 quid, and then they don't ring every month. They start ringing every week, and then they stop ringing every week and start asking you every day. And I've had that experience with charities that I've been generous with, and I thought it literally
and that's
you know what I mean.
yeah,
So we've got to think
yeah.
about that definitely.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to, and that's what I'm trying to get at, because what the society we live in now, people, if they want to give charity, it's quick, done, finished. You know what I mean? They don't. And for instance, I look on Facebook, and there's always more GoFundMe's. I don't see now a lot of charity-based pages. More so, it's more so GoFundMe pages. So I'm just trying to work out, like, Kieran, your charity is a lot more different, because you're going to give 100% back to the people that you're working with. Do you know what I mean? And it's trying to get that message across to people that yes, you are a charity. However, 100% of the money that comes in goes to blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to think how best to get that message across through your branding, through your wording, through all these type of things, without having to do explanation videos, without having to. Do you know what I mean? It's because people.
I think that would be the important thing. No, sorry to cut in, and I can't speak on behalf of Kieran, but I think that will actually be the important thing. It will be the difference between saying we do this and actually giving them the visuals, the optics are this is exactly where our money spent. Like literally, this percentage goes to this. This goes to this, and
so it is the testimonials. It is a testimony. You're gonna have to start working on testimonials with people. You know what I mean? People that you've helped, people that you speak, that you're working with. You're gonna have to get a lot of visual testimonials, doing interviews with people. You're gonna have to look at data analysis and going, before we had this much money, it went to this family. And I know someone who's a great data analyst. And she can help you get data that shows. Do you know what I mean? Hard copies of, this is how much percentage money we had this month. This is how much of it went to these families, and blah, blah, blah. People love infographics. Do you know what I mean? And people really hit home to that. So it's just an idea of thoughts, and that's going from head, really, just a few things.
Yeah, you know what? Backing up what you were saying there, Nathan. I know it's a completely different charity, but I'm part of the postcode lottery, and one thing I love about the postcode lottery is every single month they'll send me an email and they'll show me exactly what kind of funds they've raised, where the funds are going. And it's one of the only charities that I've given to that actually I think to myself, you know, it's actually worth giving 20 quid a month if I win or not, because I'm actually seeing where my money's going.
Yeah. I've got to shoot, guys. So Kieran, can you text me WhatsApp? I'm going to ring you tomorrow sometime. I'll WhatsApp you and I'll ring you tomorrow sometime.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much.
Okay, wicked, man. Cool, man. Cheers, guys. I'll catch you in a bit.
Cheers.
I've literally, I was about to say the same thing. I was about to message you guys. I've got to go as well, unfortunately. But I'll catch you guys all next week and that, and just let me know for the chat who's next and what's going on and that. I'm sorry I've got to go, but I hope you guys are all. And thank you, Kieran. That was an amazing sort of outline there.
See you later on.
See you later, bro.
Cool.
How do I leave?
How do you leave?
It normally comes up, man.
You ain't going nowhere, man. You think you're going, but you're not.
Oh, God.
Oh, wicked, guys, though. Really good session, man. Thanks for that, Kieran, man.
It's all right. Yeah. It was I'm glad I'd done it. I was thinking of I was flapping a bit, but
no, good on you. Is Cristian still there?
He hasn't left.
It looks like he's paused.
He is. He hasn't left because he owns the recording, doesn't he? And if he left, it all ends.
Oh, okay.
So he's gone.
He just left the picture for us, hasn't
he? Yeah. It looks like I'm going to do that. It looks like he's been listening the whole time.
He's probably asleep.
Oh,
cool then. Cool now. Thanks for sharing, Kieran, man. That was brilliant.
No worries, anytime.
Cool.
All right. I'll leave you to.
Okay then. I'll catch you later.
See you later on. Cheers.
Cool. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.